Okay, so welcome guys to a brand new video on our channel. Move to this video, subscribe for more videos. My name is Abdullah and this is our brother Say Amin. And we are here today to discuss a very important issue that many of us, especially we those in Africa, uh, misinterpret or we have wrong information about these incidents, which is the issue of the war between Palestine and Israel. This is something that have been going on since our birth, even before our birth. We grew up hearing the stories about the war between Israel and Palestine. And many, even including me, we have wrong informations about this war. So today we are here with our senior, with our brother, Sir Amin Udabo, for us to clear some doubts and misconceptions about this issue. So you're welcome to our platform.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdeladide.
How are you doing?
Inshallah, I'm doing very fine.
How was the fasting?
Well, my body will speak for itself. So,
Oh,
as you can
sorry.
see,
I think we are about 4 days
to get done, right?
yeah,
I
inshallah.
wish it could be one day to get done.
And we pray Allah accept our fast.
I mean,
So
inshallah.
the war between Israel and Palestine.
Okay.
Before we move into what caused the war, can you explain whom they are? Whom are the Israels and who are the, because sometimes when you ask those in the Israel are Jews and those in Palestine are Muslims, and it's a war that they've been fighting even before the prophets and this kind of, so I don't know like how all this came about.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdeladide, for this great
Okay.
opportunity. First and foremost, I would also like to thank your viewers and all those watching us right now. Israel and then Palestine, as you asked, who are they? Yes, they are human beings. They are
Okay.
not objects.
Okay.
They are people.
Okay.
They bleed or breathe the same blood. So when you say a Palestinian actually was not supposed to be an identity.
Okay.
You get me? It's nothing closer to anything of an identity.
Oh, okay.
But normally it's being tagged to the Arabs or the
Mm,
Arabians who migrated as Bedouins, those who work or used to sell or do works in livestock, leading sheep or getting into cattle and camels, all in the enclave of Gaza and
okay.
today's West Bank.
Okay.
So they were coined and termed Palestinians. But in
Mm,
Israeli, they mention it not P, but Philistine.
mm,
Philistine.
okay.
They are Arabs. And a subgroup of who are today in Ammon. Ammon is what we know today as Jordan, or in other words, Urdun.
Okay.
So they are Arabians migrating from that enclave. But then when you talk about the Israelis, for all we know, as Muslims as we know how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been addressing Nabi Ishaq
Okay.
and Nabi Yaqub
Okay.
and the descendant, Bani Israel.
Okay.
So Israel is a tribe, but it's a tribe divided into two. We have the Israelis who were then in the north, and then we have the Judah. They were the kingdom of Israel, and then there were a kingdom of Judah.
Okay.
We all heard from our Islamic exegesis, which is tafsir, that Nabi Musa went and brought the Israelis from Masr or
Okay.
Misra back to their land. The tribe is called Jew. Their identity or the kingdom they used to have was called Israel.
Mm,
Later, the kingdom of Judah collapsed and they amalgamated it into one. So when we say an Israeli, it is only let me say, an identity for a Jewish tribe.
okay.
If you are not a Jew, you can never claim to be an Israeli by identity.
Mm,
But I will come ahead and let you understand politically. Now, there are Arabs who are Israelis by citizenship
okay.
because the scope and the war over there has changed. So when we say a Palestine, technically or specifically limited to the Arabs.
Okay.
And then when we say an Israeli, limited to the Jews or the
Okay.
Jewish.
Okay.
And these two tribes, the Arab are descendants of Nabi Ismail,
Okay.
which in the Bible they call him Ishmael.
Okay.
And then the Jewish are the descendants of Nabi Ishaq,
Okay.
which in the Bible is called Isaac.
Isaac. Okay.
Both Ishmael and Isaac are sharing the same father, Abraham, in the
Abraham.
Quran,
Okay.
and Nabi Ibrahim.
Okay.
Isaac was born by a woman called Sarah.
Okay.
Same in the Bible, same in the Quran. Ishmael or Ismail was born by a woman called Hagar in the
Okay.
Bible, but in the Quran, Hajar. So these are the two tribes. I don't
Okay.
know if maybe my submission has been well to your viewers.
It's understanding and well informative. So the war between these two, so like are they two countries as we speak?
So as we speak,
Okay.
I cannot with a fact tell you they are two countries because
Okay.
Israel now has been recognized.
Mm,
When you check United Nations, we have 204 countries,
okay.
almost 201
In the
countries
whole
in
world.
the whole world.
204 countries.
Yes, initially it used to be 196, but later Yugoslavia has been divided into Serbia, Kosovo, Albania, and then Macedonia.
So like
Korea
Ghana.
used to be one.
Okay.
Now we have North Korea and South Korea.
Okay.
Russia used to be one,
Okay.
Soviet Union. Now we have Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Belarus, and then Ukraine, and then Romania, Bulgaria, and then all Georgia and all those. So the more, geopolitics is going on.
Okay.
So countries are being dissected and divided.
Mm,
Even recently, Sudan. Now we have South Sudan, and then we have Sudan.
they're all countries on their own.
Initially, they were one. Before
Okay.
we have one country called Ethiopia. Now we have Ethiopia and then Eritrea.
Hey.
You get how? So
Okay.
countries are
Okay.
more being divided
Okay.
by tribal lines.
Okay.
So for Palestine, it is a country to some parts of the world, but to some,
Mm,
when you go to the United Nations, it's not recognized as an independent country yet.
out of Palestine.
That's what I'm saying. But for
Oh, okay.
Israel, it is recognized.
Okay.
But not all Muslim countries also recognize, especially the Arabians. Few of them recognize Israel as an independent country.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is a history that I've read before or heard people, and even heard people talking about
Okay.
that the Palestinians, or today what we call Palestine, they were already on their land. So the Israelites, like they came, or like people of Israel, they came back to like kind of settle on their land. And so they didn't want to claim the whole of the land. So
Okay.
that's what's causing all the war and this kind of fight between them. What's your take on that?
So I would like to comment on that. These are some of the misinformations we are feeding ourselves, especially in Africa.
Really?
Because in
Like they even showed us map.
forget about a map. Anyone could create a map. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like before when the Wombes and the Bunjes were battling over the Boya, who owns it?
Okay.
The Yana would present a map. The Sumail and Deura Japa will also present a map. At the
Okay.
end of the day, it's up to the government to demarcate a traditional border. Forget about the map. The fact that, or the word or the statement going around that the land belongs to the Palestine is not even a statement, it's an understatement.
Really?
It is not for them, it has never been for them.
No,
Never
okay, okay,
at
okay.
all.
But even so now who are those who settled on the land first?
All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
Before I comment, let me divide this topic into three.
Okay.
First, as a religion, second, as a politics,
Okay.
third, as a tribe.
Okay.
We discuss about the tribe. And Nebi Ishaq,
Okay.
his descendants were the Jews.
Okay.
And Nabi Ismail,
Okay.
his descendants were the Arabs.
Arabs, okay.
You and I in the Quran and Tafsir and Sirah and any hadith have told us that when Hajara gave birth to Ismail, they had to migrate far away to the Arabian land, which is now where Zamzam was found.
Okay. Yeah.
Ismail lived there, married there, had children over there.
Okay.
Ishaq remained on that very land known as Israel today.
Okay.
Ishaq gave birth to Yaqub.
Okay.
Yaqub gave birth to Dawood.
Okay.
Dawood gave birth to Suleiman. And all of these people were prophets.
Okay.
And in the entire Islamic prophets, there are more Jewish prophets than Arabic prophets.
Okay. Arab prophets.
You get me? So in Arab, we have only 4 prophets. Some scholars differ to say 5. Some wants to begin with Anabi Ismail himself.
Okay.
But then we have Salih, we have Shu'aib, we have Anabi Hud,
Okay.
and then Anabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are the 4 recognized prophets per the Quran.
Okay.
But in Hadith, there are places they are adding Anabi Yunus and Zulkifl.
Okay.
Now, the Arabians do not own their land. Let me come back to politics. There were a kingdom called Kingdom of Israel, and then Kingdom of Judah.
Okay.
And you see those land, the land we call today Middle East.
Okay.
It is a land occupied by 2 tribes, the Jews and then the Arabs. They are cousins. A Jewish man wants to say peace, he will say shalom. when you observe Ghana's church or in Africa,
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
observe their
yeah.
church,
Yeah, shalom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when you say shalom, it doesn't make you a Jew. You are still a
Mm,
Dagomba or Musi or
okay,
Asante, but a Christian.
okay,
When you come to our mosque, we also say peace, salam.
okay.
The Arab word salam, in Hebrew or Jewish, shalom.
Shalom
Because
aleihim. Okay,
Dagomba and then Nanumba.
okay,
So the land is for them. Politically, they were invaded by the Assyrians. When we say Assyrian, it's a minority tribe that can be found in today's country called Syria.
okay.
Syria, a lot of people used to think all of them over there are Arabs. No. No single country has one particular tribe living on it. Every
Mm,
country you see in the world is a mixed tribe.
okay,
So the Assyrians invaded the Israeli kingdom.
okay,
Then there was a kingdom down south, which was called the kingdom of Judah. The kingdom of Judah was also invaded by Nebuchadnezzar, which is a former king from Babylon. Babylon is now known to be as Iraq.
okay,
So Iraq took over Judah, and then Assyrians took over Israel. You know, in history, when you win a war, you settle your people there, they intermarry, and those
okay,
things.
okay,
And in the entire history of life, when you look at Israel or Yahud, Al Yahud, even in Quran, it has been telling us that Jewish people are someone that they don't technically stay within their zone. They migrate, they love shopping, they are into business. So there are some people who were invaded by the Assyrians, later Egypt, later Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire, the British now call it Ottoman
empire.
Empire.
Okay,
They can't say Ottoman, so the anglicized name for it became Ottoman.
Ottoman. Oh, okay, yeah,
So it was the Ottoman Empire, which is now Turkey, the country we now know today
okay,
as Turkey.
okay,
And you know, in Islam, whenever there is a conquest, when you conquer a place, you protect them, but then the country comes under you.
yeah, yeah,
So when the Ottoman Empire invaded and claimed over the Israeli place and land and everything, later the British, the French and
so you
Russians.
mean Ottoman they conquered both Judah and Israel?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
before even the conquest of Ottoman, there was nothing even like the kingdom of Israel and then the kingdom of
Mm,
Judah.
okay,
Because the Arabs have already invaded them.
okay,
And the Arabs give birth more than, polygamous
okay,
marriages. A Jewish man believes in something, one wife, giving birth to
okay,
maybe one child.
okay,
That's the European system. You get what I'm trying to say? So before the Ottoman Empire, already there wasn't any country. I mean, the kingdom was collapsed.
okay.
You can't tell me if the Gabon kingdom is collapsed, doesn't mean the land still doesn't belong to the Gombes. I
Mm,
don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say.
okay,
The kingdom was invaded by Assyrians, and then kingdom of Judah was invaded by the Babylonians.
okay,
And these two Assyrians and Babylonians are not even directly Arabs.
okay.
In the history of Islam, the original Arabs are those in Yemen.
Yemen.
Yemen is the cradle of Arabian world.
Okay.
Every true Arab is coming from Yemen.
Mm-hmm.
The today kings we have even in Saudi Arabia, deep down their roots, they are not Arabs. You get what I'm trying to say? But that's not a topic for discussion for now. So
Because
when you
like
look at
because
it,
because like I would have asked.
yeah, they are not Arabs. They are also migrants from Turkish. Let me mention these tribes. Faris, we call them
Okay.
the Persians. You see, we have a tribe called Kurdish. Kurdish are now today found in Azerbaijan and southern Turkey. And then some of them are in Iraq. And then we have the Arabs. And then we have the Assyrians.
Okay.
All these tribes I mentioned, together with the Jews, they look alike. They are
Mm,
all mixing, like the
okay.
Gumba, Nanumba.
One father. So
You get
okay.
me? They are cutting across.
Okay.
The actual kingdom of Saudi today, the one who founded it, Al Saud bin Abdul Aziz, is not an Arab.
Oh, okay.
He's not an Arab.
Okay.
His own cousin, some history says his friend, called Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab, they collaborated and amalgamated the country through war with the support of the British.
Okay.
So after the war, Al Saud says he wants to he and his lineage would be the kings.
Mm,
So Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab also said he and his lineage would be the imams or the sheikhs or the shuyukhs
okay.
or however you call them. So Sudais and Shuraim today, you see them over there in Mecca, and then Muhammad bin Salman, the crown prince, are all cousins.
But maybe Sudais, I think he's from like a family that though I also hear like maybe the imams there,
Mhm.
the imamship there like it's a lineage something.
That's Muhammad
Eh,
ibn Abdul Wahhab's
yeah,
lineage.
but for Suresh in particular, I heard a story kind of like he 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 is not from the lineage. He was chosen by one of the kings in Saudi Arabia.
Before Sudais, Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, may his
Okay,
soul rest
Ibn
in
Baz.
peace.
Okay,
He was among those who wrote a letter protesting. Because of Sudais, bin Baz was even prisoned.
really,
Yes, Abdul Aziz bin Baz was
this is a
prisoned during
story.
the era of King Fahd.
This is a story. I'm
Yes.
now. Masha.
So even though you said our topic has to be
Okay,
limited to
okay,
Israeli and
okay,
Palestine, but I'm just trying to make it a brief. Sudais is a lineage,
okay,
Shuraim as well.
okay,
That's why when you look at Abdullah al-Maturud, those Qurra, those who
okay.
resided,
Okay,
al-Maturud is not even an Arab. He's
okay.
from India. That's why in Saudi Arabia they call him Abdullah al-Maturud al-Hindi.
Oh, okay.
And then you look at Saad al-Ghamidi. Ghamidi actually is not even an Arab. He's a
Mm,
Persian from Iran.
okay,
Imam Tirmizi is not an Arab. He's from Russia,
okay.
today's Dagestan. So most times we see people settling in a community, we think they are belonging to that tribe, but no.
Mm,
You get what I'm trying to
okay,
say? So now let's come back to the scope of the
okay,
topic. Sheikh, this misinformation has to stop. There is nothing like the land belongs to the Palestinians.
mm,
You get what I'm trying to say?
okay,
Before United Nations was to be formed, which was 1945, the
okay,
sole aim of forming United Nations was to promote peace
okay,
and to have an organization that would become the world policeman. Because World War First World War happened, Second World War happened. So
okay,
after Second World War, the world said no. Let's create an organization that would lead us. Initially, it was called the League of Nations. Later, it
mm,
was changed to United Nations.
nations. Okay,
Before this formation, there was nothing like Israel or Palestine. You get what I'm trying to
okay,
say? Politically. Then Ottoman Empire. Who defeated Ottoman Empire? It was the French,
okay,
the British, and then the Russians. At that time, Ottoman Empire, they control Azerbaijan and now Armenia and part of Belarus, Georgia, and now part of Iraq and Syria and then Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine. That time, there was no country called Jordan. There was
mm,
no country called Lebanon. All these places, they call that place Palestine.
mm,
I don't know whether you are really getting what I'm trying to
okay,
say. Before Ottoman Empire's occupation, when they occupied, there wasn't any country called Jordan.
okay.
There wasn't any country called Lebanon.
So all those
All
countries
those land
around,
were
okay,
called Palestine.
Palestine, okay,
That's why today most people are having the feeling like there is a country called Palestine and now Israel are trying to steal away. No. So later, when the war was defeated, when Ottoman empires were defeated by French, Russia, and then British,
okay,
and during our allied, when you look at geopolitics, when you go to war and you win, you divide the land into your sphere of influence.
mm,
The way in 1844 or 77, Africa was partitioned. British took over Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa. They divided it. Mali, Niger went to the French. Eritrea and those enclave went to the Italians, the Germans. So that's how they did it.
it's not easy.
You really get it.
Okay,
So when they were dividing the land, because they defeated Turkey, which is Ottoman Empire,
okay,
Egypt was part of Turkish, colony.
okay,
So later, British took over Egypt. They divided it.
mm,
When they were dividing the border, British and French divided in a way that there was a mountain called Mount Lebanon. You see the Lebanon you hear, it's not even a country, it's the name of a mountain.
oh, okay,
Mount Lebanon in Arab. So when they divided the country, the border, where the French got, France said, okay, we will divide ours into two. The land French got, they divided it into two. One Lebanon and the other Syria. So Syria and Lebanon are colonies of France.
mm,
And then the British divided their own into two. Today's Palestine and then Jordan.
okay,
They divided it based on the tribe.
mm-hmm,
So then the Jews or the Yahud or the Israelis, they were in Europe. That was when Adolf Hitler started massacring them.
okay,
They wanted to come back to their homeland. When you meet the Gomba anywhere in this world, whether the Gomba is born in America, he lived there for 90 years. If today America says they are going to sack him, sorry to say, he has never been to Africa. Where is his homeland?
Gabon.
Gabon.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to tell the Bani Israel and Nabi Ishaq's family and Nabi Dawood, Sulaiman, Yaqub, Yusuf, all these people, Bunyamin, you're trying to tell you that you're not even an Arab. You're trying to say they don't have the land belongs to Arabs. Who told you that? 90% of the Middle East land is to the Arabs. Only 10% is what Israel are fighting for. And these two people are the ones who owns all the land. Arabs and Israel, they are the ones owning it. 90% are with the Arabs. 10% are with the Israelis. And you know today, what is happening today is politics. It has nothing to do with religion.
Oh, okay.
People need to understand the current context.
Okay.
There are some people who think once you are an Arab, you're automatically a Muslim. That's some of the mistakes we do. There are more Christians in Palestine. You would hear the name Abu Bakr, Osman, Yaqub, Najwan, what, Najib, they are there, but they are Catholic, sorry you say, Orthodox Christians.
Okay.
And in Israel, what Christians in Africa don't know is that Israel is not a Christian country. You know, there are times in Africa, a Christian in Ghana will feel like, let me support Israel because that's Christian. No. Israelis do not even believe in Jesus. They call Jesus, you ask a Jewish today who is an Nabi, they will tell you he was a tribe of us, but we heard he was a teacher of some new religion. They don't believe in Jesus.
Okay.
They practice their religion called Judaism. Their book, as mentioned in the Quran, Al Torah and Zabura.
Okay.
And then when you come to the Arab faction, that's where you even have slight number of Christians. So what's happening over there is not about religion, it's about two tribes. But today politics is in it.
Okay.
In Israeli parliament, there are member of parliament who are Muslims, but they are Jews.
Okay.
They are Muslims, but their tribe are Jews. And then in the Christian faction, there are some in the Palestinian movement, PLA, Mahmoud Abbas, and you find Christians amongst them. So all the happenings over there today, Sheikh, I can tell you for a fact, it has nothing to do with Islam or Christianity. No. The Jewish began coming home. Now the question is, how did the war begin?
Okay.
You get me? Hitler was massacring them. Everyone, any student of history has heard about Holocaust. The Holocaust was something the Jewish and the world paid tribute and commiserated with them because it was a time where the Nazi Germany, when you say Nazi, that's the name of Hitler's soldier.
Okay.
We've all been hearing the name of Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
That he is wicked. He did nothing. The only wicked thing he did was massacring the Jews. So the world felt emotional towards the Jews. These people, they are minority. They need to go. And do you know the funny thing? Before that, in any Arab world, an Arab land, in any community, there is a leader. So the land that was now today called Palestine, when the Arabs were there, you know, when the Ottoman took over, they made sure the Arabs were shopping. Most Jews, they like traveling abroad. An Arab doesn't like going outside his comfort zone. An Arab man is always limited within his comfort zone. They have the perception that they are already okay with what they have. Farming, shipping, livestock farming, and those things. But the Jews used to travel. So before 1920, most of the Jews were already in Europe. Fast forward 1931, Hitler started massacring them.
Okay.
And before then, the land called today Palestine, there was a community leader. They are Palestinians. Sheikh, now let me ask you. The Israelis started coming back home before the war, before Hitler was to massacre them. Some of them started coming back home, buying land with money. In that same land, they claim is for them. Who did they buy it from? The Arabs. So the Arabs were now selling the northern part of the so-called Palestine to the Jews. Later they saw that no, the Jews, they are economic people. And the Arabs saw that the more we sell land to them, economic activities is happening on our land.
Okay.
So they were selling. All these things were happening under Ottoman Empire.
Oh, okay.
By the time Ottoman Empire would be defeated, significant number of Jews were already in the land. So now they are already there.
Okay.
And a war also broke out. And some of them are coming back home. That was the fight. Initially, they said, give us a portion. The Jews came, give us a portion for us to sit. Then there was this man called Muhammad Haj Amin. Okay. Haj Amin al-Hussein. He was the occupier and the Grand Mufti of Masjid al-Aqsa.
Okay.
At that time, he was an imam. But then he also had a political ambition to one day govern Palestine. So he started inciting the Arabs to attack the Jews using Quran verses and whatever, trying to. So it was the Arabs who initially started even expelling and pushing away that we don't want the Jews to come. They shouldn't. And the Jews started feeling like, no, some of us already bought land. And in reality, the land is even our homeland. You see how it began.
Okay.
At the beginning, the Jews were right.
Okay.
Later, the war shifted. What's happening today? It is the past mistakes of the Arabian leaders, including the Jewish leaders.
Affecting those
Today. Today, if you are a Muslim, there is nothing like free Palestine. Your job is to pray the war should cease. Both the two tribes fighting over there, they don't belong to you. They are not related to you. The Arabs dying are not only Muslims, some are Christians. And Islam doesn't even care who dies. Islam says we should protect human lives. So as a Muslim, yours is to pray that what's going on over there should stop.
Okay.
And in Israel, there are Muslims.
Okay.
There are Muslims in there.
So now, let's jump maybe and come back. I heard that Donald Trump made I think a statement saying they should not cease fire. Like I think he was kind of like putting more fuel to what's happening between these two parties.
So
What's your take on
commenting on Donald Trump, you see, Sheikh, I've been saying something.
Okay.
I remember in 2016 when President Barack Obama was leaving the American presidency, I mean at the end of his tenure.
Okay. Trump
was contesting. In Africa, we were told that Trump hates Muslims. He doesn't like blacks. When he wins, he will be sacking Muslims and attacking Muslims. I, as a political science student and an international relation expert, we don't listen to just believe. I'm not an idiot. For God's sake, I have a brain.
Okay.
You said Trump said something. Prove it. Where? Which article?
No, but like we saw posts,
There is no Sheikh. Today, there are many people creating content of great people. You might think this page is for Muhammad, but it's for someone else.
Okay, yeah,
but it's everything about Muhammad. Show me one video where Donald Trump himself said he hates Muslim or he has a problem with Islam. It's one thing. Trump was commenting, that was on Good Morning America, ABC, in New York Times. He was asked. He said, I think the Arab in Iraq and Syria, there is a problem over there. We should work and stop them from coming to this country until we find out what's going on there. Because terrorism is coming from that place.
Okay.
So, Sheikh, if you and I are the Gombes, and in our house we have a problem, do we expect a Gonja to come and solve it for us, or we are going to solve it ourselves?
To solve it ourselves. Okay.
So Arabs, a lot to Trump. Donald Trump is an evangelical Christian. Those evangelics, they are deep-rooted with the love of Jesus and everything. That's why people don't tell you the good side of Trump. Because Trump is a conservative Christian. That's why he says if you are a gay or a lesbian, we will arrest you.
Yeah.
Ever since he came back, he has banned all those doing transgender to serve in the military. You can never teach children in America in the military. Under Obama and Biden, they allow those lesbians and gays. Trump is saying America is a Christian nation. We are children of God. We should live by the rules of God. But here you are today telling me Trump hates black. Meanwhile, among his own cabinet, there are blacks. You get what I'm trying to say? So where does he hate Muslims? Nowhere. And then coming back to the issue of he is adding fuel to fire. I'm saying, what's today's date? Today is Wednesday. Just this morning, you can fact check me. Currently, as I'm speaking to you, there is a protest going on in Gaza from the Arabs protesting against the so-called government they have called Hamas. They are saying, Hamas, enough. We want you to get out so that we can live in peace. It's because of you that Israelis are bombing the hell out of us, killing our husbands, making us widows, making us orphans. Today, as we speak, not every Palestinian is in support of the Palestinian government. And not every Israeli is in support of the Israeli government. And let me tell you for a fact, the Israelis and Arabs of Palestine today, most of them have intermarried. Shalom, salam. You and me, when they speak Anula and Tiri, what's our job over there?
Okay.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
So that's the concept. Trump, for his side, is a political inclusion. The problem is that we, the Muslims of today, or let me say no, the Arabs, they are paying the price for their refusal to go into politics. Israel, they are very few. I can tell you for a fact that Jews, they are the ones controlling America.
Okay.
But yet still, in America's 380 million population, Jews are only 2%. Just 2%. But that's how Allah has given the Yahud hikmah. He has blessed those people with wisdom. They have a way of, we are minor, but let's put a system in a way that we can be remoting you. Today, the democracy we have is from them. Today, the knowledge of banking, ATM machine, robot, AI, iPhone, whatever, every company who is developing an iPhone, the Apple, the owner, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, all those billionaires from Bill Gates to Jeff Bezos to Amancio Ortega and Elon Musk is an Irish Jewish guy. And today, Elon Musk is the right-hand man of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Don't you think he will influence Donald
Yeah,
Trump to
yeah,
favor
yeah,
Israel?
yeah, sure.
And Trump's own daughter is marrying a Jewish guy. You get the price we are paying. Today, you and I are Muslims, you go to Arab world. They look at us as non-human beings. An Arab man only respects an Englishman. And the English people are the ones using them today. So what Palestinians are going through is not only from, a mistake from the Israeli government. It's also from their own leaders. They're both Hamas and Mahmoud Abbas, and initially their president, Yasser Arafat.
So you mentioned democracy. Democracy, a way, is from the Jewish. Okay. So some also say that autocracy is good than democracy. And that democracy came to kind of destroy our lives. What's your take on that too?
Sheikh, when it comes to choices of human lives,
Okay.
I'm careful to comment between what I know and what I believe.
Okay.
You get, it's a thin line between what you know and then what you believe.
Okay.
Belief is such a relative concept. There are those, is there a God? Why haven't we seen him? We've been told Qiyamah is coming. My great grandma died 300 years ago. Judgment day is not coming. Is even religion real?
Okay.
Do we need religion or do we need God? People are stuck between these things. Whether autocracy, democracy, aristocracy, bureaucracy, capitalism, socialism, or communism, all I know is that I'm a Muslim.
Okay.
And Islam has ascribed me to be just in government, however we do it.
Okay.
But for me, I can tell you, in our modern world, democracy is best fit because allow everybody to have a voice. Islam doesn't suppress. Nowhere in the laws of Islam has denied anyone's basic fundamental rights. The problem is that democracy is not even perfect. Even in America, there are those who don't support America's government to support Israel, but still America's government is what?
Okay.
Supporting Israel, meaning
okay.
America has even violated that democracy.
Okay.
Because you say democracy is the voice of
For
the
the
people.
people, yeah.
And they are saying, do not support Israel. Support peace. You get me? And today, Sheikh, before I even forget, let me add this. You see the land, Israel, or Ezra, or however they spell it.
Okay.
Israelis believe some portion of their land is in Syria today. They also believe some portion of the land is with Jordan. They also believe some portion of the land is with Lebanon. That's why there is this military group. They are a Shia. They are called Hezbollah or Hezbollah, meaning army or forces of Allah. They and Israel used to fight a lot, but they are Shia sectarian Muslims. They are from Lebanon. So Israel wants to expand. That's where the mistake lies right now. Because Israel feels like, no, the land, we've been cheated.
Okay.
This wasn't our kingdom.
Okay.
We need more. Not just Gaza, not just. That's why they've agreed. The Gaza before was an empty land. It was the Arabs who developed it.
Okay.
You would never hear Israeli telling you Gaza belongs to them. Show me one proof. You would never hear them say it.
Okay.
You will never hear them saying West Bank belongs to them.
Okay.
But the rest of the land, they claim it. And the only bone of contention is the compound of Masjid al-Aqsa, built by Suleiman. Suleiman also is a Jew, an Israel, not an Arab, and maybe Suleiman. So they believe Suleiman is from us. He's a Jew.
Okay.
He promised God he will build a temple. They don't call it mosque, they call it synagogue. In Jewish, that's how they call masjid. You get me? So they said it's for them. Muslims too say no. Aqsa is part of our three holiest places, Makkah, Medina, and Aqsa. The Christians too go there and pray because they believe that was where Jesus descended or ascended to heaven.
Okay.
So these three tribes called the Abrahamic religion or the religions of Abraham, Jewish, Christianity, and then Islam. So, Sheikh, these are some of the little facts I can
Okay.
put it. And I urge all our viewers, they shouldn't just listen to what we are saying. I believe whenever you hear people talk, go and
Also
fact check.
research. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not about emotions.
Yeah.
Because myself, there are a lot of my friends who used to attack me. Ah, Muhammad Aminu Dabo, you are a Muslim. We expect you to support Palestine. You see the dogma.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
in
okay. So
Israel,
okay. So now, like, what's your stance?
the stance is the land and the political actors should
Okay.
do what's right and stop using it for politics. People are
Mm,
using human lives for political gains.
okay.
Example, the current Israeli prime minister, his name is Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin. Benjamin, they themselves in Israel, you don't call it Benjamin because in Hebrew language, there is no J.
Binyamin.
So when you remove the J, his name is Benjamin.
Okay.
Bunyamin, people would think it's an Arab name. No, but it's a Hebrew name.
Really?
Yes. I mean, there are names that are not for us, it's for them.
Okay.
Yusuf is a Jewish name, it's not an Arab name. Because it's a big and because they are all together. The language today, if you say you are an Anumba, what's the big case? If you say you are Mamprisi, what's the big case? You get what I'm trying to say? We say zakat, sorry, Arab says zakat. They say they begin it with D and the Z is silent.
Okay.
So even their own Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he's prolonging the war. He doesn't want a
Mm,
ceasefire because the more the war, the more he stays in power.
oh
You
God.
get it? And in Israel, there are Muslims.
Mm,
In Palestine, there are also Muslims and Christians. So
okay.
it's not about if you are saying free Palestine. So what about the
The
Muslim in
Muslims in
Israel?
Israel. Okay. Which means the stance should be the war should just stop.
The war is
Everything should just
political.
cool
It's not
down. Okay.
religious. It's just
Okay.
political.
Okay. Okay. So I think we've learnt a lot. I speaking, I've learnt a lot from Sir Amin Udabo. You can follow him on Facebook and I think on TikTok, right? Sir, please, what's your handles, please, on TikTok?
I don't do anything on my TikTok of such. So I
No, but
think
no. At least I know that give me
my
maybe
TikTok
like
account, there are many. Uzaif Aminu, I have Aminu Dabo, I
okay.
have Chigeri.
What
They
of
are there.
Facebook?
Facebook, Uzaif Aminu Dabo.
Okay. Please follow him for more. I've learned a lot. You've also learned a lot. Comment, ask any question, and maybe say I may come back and clarify that for you. If there is anything we mention in our talk that you think, after making your research, is incorrect, you can make it known to us through the comment section, and we'll also be ready to kind of tackle that maybe in our next coming video on this particular topic. Thanks for your time, sir. Please, your last words before we end our video.
Well, for all I want to tell the world is that
Okay.
the viewers, if you can hear me, I just want people to understand. Not everyone in the mosque is a Muslim,
Okay.
and not everybody in the church is a Christian.
Okay.
Equally, not everyone in the prison is a criminal.
Okay.
In life, there are circumstances. We should put humanity above anything else
Okay.
because we are all the children of God, all equal in His eyes and worthy of His love. Let's pray for peace to reign over there in Israel and in Palestine. Tomorrow it may be us. In Ghana, we have our own headaches. We have Boko, we have the Southern Bono Asante. We are having our own issues too. So we shouldn't escalate things with words and violence. We should just pray for peace because Islam stands for peace.
Yeah.
And no religion for me, no religion I've read their books that promotes war.
Yeah, true.
Every religion promotes peace. Let's
Okay.
stand there for peace.
Okay.
Masala.
Thank you very much for your time. Please subscribe for more videos.